Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, what's going on?
Derek, we are in now renamed Allentown. So,
I mean, it's always been Allentown.
Nah, if you know, you know, though.
Okay.
It's been renamed Allentown.
Josh Allentown.
Yeah. Allentown's been renamed. So we'll start with introductions and titles, and then we'll dive right into all things your establishment. So you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so I'm Zina Lapi. I am the owner and the head chef here at Casa Azul.
And I am Danny Liquor. It's my real name. I am the bar manager at Casa Azul.
You were born for this.
Yeah, for sure. That's what people say all the time. And then once you realize it's spelled L-I-C-K-E-R, not L-I-Q-U, kind of takes it away, but I just say it's like, you know, all Smiths were blacksmiths. My family also had a trade, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How did you guys meet?
Just the bar scene.
Yeah.
Like
We
coworkers at some other
No.
establishment back in the day?
No, he came to work for our first location down on Genesee and Oak 2 years ago.
Well, I started like 3.5 years ago, and I've been managing for a year. But I was managing another bar and then working 1 day a week at Casa.
Oh, she poached you, huh?
And then, well, yeah, so it was funny.
He begged.
Yeah, it was funny. My roommate also works here, and he had come home and said that Zina had asked him, "Do you know any bar managers?" And he was like, "Oh, just Danny." And she was like, "Oh man," it's basically like saying like she was interested. And he came home. He's like, "You should talk to her." And then she was like, "I got this space on Allen. Are you interested?" And I was like, "I'll quit my other job right now."
No kidding.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
That's awesome.
Is it because it was so close to where you were living?
Yeah, that, and also like the ability to do what I'm good at, and she like empowers me to do that, and like the more her knowledge exceeds mine when it comes to flavor profiles, and like I've never like she can taste something and tell you exactly what's in it, and like I can't do that. I'm kind of a dummy with that stuff. Like I can't taste it and be like, "Oh yeah, I taste this and that." Like I'm more of like the general public, where if somebody tells you you're going to taste it,
Right.
you automatically start tasting it.
Then you start thinking it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the episode of The Office where he's like, it's got an oaky afterbirth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the person who'd be like, yeah, it does kind of have an oaky afterbirth. You know what I mean? Like, I just
Disagreeing
fall into
along
that.
with it, yeah.
So she can taste something and be like, oh, it needs more salt. It needs pepper. It needs this. And getting to be able to use the equipment that she has here is like such a benefit. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do that at other bars, you know?
So what got Casa Azul started? Because you were doing a food truck first, right?
I had a food truck called the Blue Balls Bus that was all
Jesus.
arancini. Yeah, I have a really terrible sense of humor. But we got out of that with Casa Azul. It's more whatever. But yeah, I had a food truck. It was a lot of fun. And then the opportunity arose to do this Mexican restaurant and have it be a little more like regional and creative and not so Tex-Mex. And I thought that Buffalo really needed that. There was nothing like that at the time. So just kind of jumped in 2 feet and got it going. And yeah, we've been here for 5.5 years now.
What was the food truck? What were you selling on there? Because
It was
something.
arancini, which was like stuffed risotto balls, essentially. My family is Sicilian, so it's like Sicilian street food.
So what got you into like Mexican food then?
Just the fact that there was a void for it in Buffalo.
Gotcha.
So I just started learning everything I could, went to Mexico as much as I could. And it's an easy cuisine to fall in love with, easy culture to fall in love with. It's super similar to Italy and especially Sicily, which is what my family is.
Yeah.
So
Did people follow you from the food truck to your first location?
yeah, I think so. We got a lot of really good publicity in the beginning, and once we opened, each year was better and better and better after that, and the following just kept growing, and it's been awesome so far.
So for your menu, you mentioned that it's regional and it's not, what'd you say, Tex-Mex?
Yeah.
Can you dive into that? What do you mean?
So I feel like a lot in Buffalo is a lot of the same like Tex-Mex food, where it's like you get refried beans, you get rice, and then you pick like enchilada, chalupa, taquitos, tacos, and then there's like shredded lettuce and sour cream. We're like the opposite of that. We're conceptualized dishes that we make like authentic cooking choices, but then we put our own creative spins on things. So we have tacos. They're all hand-pressed, homemade masa tortillas. We grill them to order, and then each taco is kind of its own conceptualized plate. So it's not just a protein with like cheese and sour cream on it. Each one's dressed differently for a specific reason. Same with all the plates. It's like we have taquitos, again, homemade tortillas, hand-rolled, they're fried to order, and then that whole plate is like a conceptualized thought where the sauce goes with the protein and then the shell. There's a crunch, there's texture, there's different flavor profiles, salt, sugar, acid, stuff like that. So it all comes in to like one cohesive dish.
That's really cool. I don't know if you know this, but there's like local public schools, depending on the district, has like Hispanic Studies, and it's literally just food based and culture based. And when you go to your class, you're expected to bring in a dish, and then everybody tries a different dish. So having that option here, yeah, I mean, obviously it's niche. So way to go to crush that and identify it within our local
No,
business
that's awesome. I did not
marketing.
know
But
that.
yeah, so I took it because I was in Spanish all through high school anyways, and I'm a foodie. So I was like all day long, like I'll hit gym, then I'll go to Hispanic Studies, and then I'll go to lunch.
Yeah,
Because
very
like,
cool.
why not just keep eating for 2 straight periods?
Right.
And that's how it went all senior year. But it was really cool to see that there's more to Mexico and even Spain than tacos.
Oh, for sure.
So to have your experience in Mexico, did you try to hit different regions per se within the country and say like, how does the South do it differently from the North? And then how did you tie in even like different fruits and vegetables, because they like fry bananas and they're incredible.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's a lot of ingredients driven when it comes to regional cooking, and then it's also methods. So when I was in Oaxaca, all I ate was mole because that's what they're known for. And there's so many different kinds. There's so many different ways of making it. Each mole is like its own technique, its own flavor profile. And then when I was in Mexico City, it was a little more like contemporary, and chefs were like getting a little more creative and doing their own thing. You go to Acapulco and it's seafood driven because of where they are. So it's cool to see how different it is, even though it's all encompassed under like Mexican food.
And then she brings you in and says, this is what we need to drink with this.
Yeah, I mean, when I came in, there was already a cocktail list.
Okay.
And then I've had quite an experience in the bar business. I mean, I've been bartending since I was 18, so for like 16 years almost, which makes me feel very old, but I'm not.
He is old.
And then she just sort of gave me the reins to the cocktail list, and able to like empowers me to change up like the flavors and things like that, and mess with a lot of different things and see what works and what doesn't. And I change up the margaritas seasonally for the most part. And
Yeah, you guys just don't have well tequila. I mean,
No,
you have
so-
quite the. Is this like
we
one of the
don't-
better selections?
So
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
gotta
carry, and nothing that we carry is like bullshit. Like we don't carry a well per se. Like we don't carry like a $5 bottle that we're
Sure.
giving people terrible drinks with. If
Because
you're
then
gonna
people
have
get
good drinks,
headaches
starts
off
with the
it.
ingredients.
Right,
It's
and
just
then they think
disgusting.
they don't like it. That's why
Sure.
when you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I don't drink tequila. I don't like tequila," and it's like you probably just had really shitty tequila.
Right.
The
They
one
got
we
messed
drink
up on
is
it.
what we technically use as like our house.
Okay.
But it's nothing that we don't drink every single day.
Right. I mean, I drink tequila and mezcal often. Like that's my go-to. I've been like a chameleon in this business. Like I've worked for craft beer bars where I was an IPA guy. And then I started working at a whiskey bar, and all I drank was whiskey, and it was mostly Irish whiskeys because it was an Irish place. And then now I'm here, and whiskey just is not my thing anymore. It's strictly tequila.
So if you're a whiskey drinker and you come here,
Yeah.
how do you correlate your tolerance level to whiskey to tequila? Because do they have the same like metrics per se, where it's like ABV and proof for whiskey?
Proofs will remain the same, yeah. And there's still
Gotcha.
a lot of different, like there's like rums, everything sort of remains the same, and you can go by different casks and stuff. If somebody's like, oh, I'm a whiskey drinker, I have a go-to tequila on the shelf that I'm like, if you like whiskey, this is the one that you're going to drink. It's an Arte Nam. It's, I believe it's the 1146. It's in between the first and second distillation, it goes into bourbon barrels, and then in between the second and third distillation, it goes into French Cabernet casks. So it drinks like a bourbon, but it finishes like red wine, so it's really dry. And I have somebody try that one time. They're like, "This is the best." People are trying to take pictures of the bottle, and it's a good introduction into tequila for somebody who's not used to it.
Sure.
It's very similar to no free shout outs, but we'll hook them up to Three Chords Strange Collaboration.
Yeah,
It's
right.
basically the exact same thing. They finished it in a wine barrel, a red wine specifically. So for you guys, what was the proof of what we just had?
It's 80.
Is it 80?
80.
Yeah, it's 40%.
Okay, 80 proof. Yeah.
That was really
was
smooth.
really
And that's the one that like is our house. Like if
Yeah.
people come in, we're doing shots of that with them.
So how does importation work? Because that's got to be a zoo too. Because
It's
you're bringing
a mess
things
right now, especially with like there's like a national glass shortage.
Yeah,
Right.
bottling is the
Yeah,
problem.
so
Is
like
the
where
problem.
a lot of things will get caught at the border, and like you order it and it's not coming in. Things are out of stock constantly right now. It's you have to navigate it to the point where like when bars first started coming back after COVID, it was a lot of like, hey man, this is out of stock, which we weren't really used to. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then now it's like, and you're almost blaming the rep for it. Like, when's it coming back? Like, I
Right.
really don't know. To the point now where we're just so used to it. It's like, that's out of stock again. Okay.
Did you have this big of a selection when you were at your old spot too?
We grew every year. So we started pretty small. I had someone come in and put together a back bar that we were proud of. Tony Riles, who's like a local,
Shout out Tony
really
Riles.
well-known, bartender.
Waxlight.
So he did a really great job with our opening inventory for the budget that we allowed him. And then we've just been growing since then, adding more mezcals, adding more like raicillas and sotals, which are different agave spirits, not just tequila and mezcal, which is cool. And the more that tequila grows in the States, I think those sublet other spirits are also growing.
Yeah.
So people are becoming more interested in that, which is really cool.
So when you're in that first area on Genesee, right? You said?
Yep. on
Where, like, what was your thought process as you were growing? Were you immediately thinking, I need a bigger spot?
No. So our first attempt at growth, we went back and revisited the food truck.
Okay.
So I had a food truck. It was different. Then I opened the restaurant. And then when we started growing, I brought the food truck back under Casa Azul just to help spread like the word. And we were doing different, it was a torta and churro truck. So I wanted to be known for something else besides tacos.
Sure.
Because we have a lot of other things on the menu. The tacos are great, but a lot of the other things are too. The food truck though was kind of a mess trying to let people work it that wasn't me. So we took that off the road and then I started looking at bigger spaces.
And then this place came up somehow?
Yeah. There was a business here previously. They reached out to me about maybe taking it over.
It was a similar type of business, right?
Yep, it was another Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
And then that fell through for whatever reason. And the landlord reached out a couple months later and was like, no, we want you here. If you're still interested, let's do it. So
That's sweet.
it worked out.
What type of work went into the space to make it what it is today?
A ton. So like you said, it previously was a Mexican restaurant and we didn't want to be known as like Cantina 2.0 or the old Cantina Loco. So we really touched everything in here. We redid the floors, the ceiling, we stayed in the back bar, we put a new bar in, we added the bench seating, all new tables and chairs, new window treatments, stuff like that. And then we did a lot of work on the patio as well. And we try to keep our like identity alive, but then also bring like a fresher like facelift to the area.
Is it a new process to get a license for a back bar on the patio? Like, is that separate?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a separate license.
How is that? Because you didn't have that at your previous area, right?
So we did have 2 licenses because we were 2 floors. So I had one downstairs and one upstairs.
okay.
This, we had to do a little more like red tape because we had to go through the city and get like a patio bar permit. But other than that, it was the same for the SLA.
Well, also,
It
you
was just
can't
an hour.
transfer liquor license from one location to the other.
So yeah, we had to restart the whole
So
process.
it's not like just because we had the other one, we could just pick it up and move it here. We had to
No,
reapply
yeah.
for a new
How long did that take?
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's unbelievably annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we just moved.
right.
Like,
It
we're
took an
not-
extra 4 months, but I knew it was going to take long. So as soon as I like signed the lease, we put in for so while renovations were being done, we were waiting for
Yeah,
the
permitting and things.
the license.
What does
Unbelievable.
Casa Azul mean? Like, where did the name
Blue
come
House?
from?
So yeah, it means the Blue House. We're named after Frida Kahlo, kind of. She's our spirit animal. She's like a Mexican impressionist painter, just badass overall.
Oh, cool.
Female painter. And yeah, I've always been a fan. So when we were in the old spot, it was like electric blue, and it made sense to call it that. And yeah, we got a couple little touches of her all
Got
around.
a nice
Mural on the
mural
patio and
of
stuff
Frida
like
on
that.
the. I always tell people Frida Kahlo is like our patron saint of this place. You know, it
Yeah.
was like Casa Azul was like her safe space where like she would go and like create this incredible art. You know, so it's like this can sort of be that for
For
anybody.
us, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm still confused how you went from Italy to Mexico and you like fell in love with Mexico, but you and your whole family's from Italy.
Yeah, it
That's
was-
like anti-Italian from like every Italian, because I'm stuck with him for like 70 hours a week. And it's just like, dude, Italy or die. I'm just like, okay. So that's like all I'm used to is just Italians loving Italy.
I mean, we do
Trust
for
me, she
sure.
still is Italy or die.
We definitely do.
It's very, very true. I'll break noodles in front of her just to watch her freak out.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't break the noodles. That's why,
Never.
what do you, salt the,
Yeah, you gotta
salt the
twirl.
water
If
and
you
then
cut-
exactly enough.
Get out of here. Some of the flavor profiles are somewhat similar, like spice, like
Yeah.
red sauce. Like some of it is a little bit similar, right?
For sure. Like tomatoes are a
Mm-hmm.
big proponent in each of the cuisines, right?
I think that's the only. I think that's
That's
it.
the only one.
Tomatoes and red. I think.
Kind
I
of.
mean,
the flags are
kind
both
of,
red, white,
but-
and green.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's just the opposite
Spanish
way.
is super close to Italian.
Yeah.
I thought it was the
language-wise.
same thing for
Similar.
forever.
So when you're building your menu, how did you get into cooking? Like, what made you become a good cook? I'm honestly shocked that you cook too.
So I went to culinary school. I am
Oh, okay.
classically trained. I went to Johnson and Wales.
She just flexed so hard on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like too boastful about it, but I went for 4 years. So I did 2 years in Miami, 2 years in Rhode Island, culinary school, and a summer in Italy. So that's when I fell in love with Mexican food. No, I did do a summer in Italy, but it was Italian cooking. And then, I came back and I started working in a bunch of different restaurants in Buffalo. They were mostly like high-end steakhouses and stuff like that. But like I said, there was just a void for this type of food. And I always enjoyed Mexican food and wanted to put my own take on things.
So did you always want to be a restaurant owner, or were you good with cooking in a different establishment?
So I always knew I wanted to do my own thing. That was the food truck. And then honestly, if you would have asked me like 3 months before opening Casa Azul, hey, do you want to open a restaurant? I would have said, hell no. But it was just kind of a seize the opportunity moment arose, and I went for it, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
So you guys met through the industry. Have you guys both used like friends and family to help get this whole establishment up and running?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of sweat equity.
Especially now,
For
like
sure.
with the summer staff, our occupancy doubles. It's more bar staff, more bar backs, more bartenders, and I've sort of have been very lucky with a lot of my friends that, hey, come in and help us out. And,
Yeah.
we have we have a bar owner who works here 1 day or 2 days a week, and we have a guy who manages one of the best whiskey bars in Buffalo that works here 1 day a week. And, like they still come in and help us out. And I have the staff that we have with bartenders are all super, super talented to the point where it makes me nervous,
Yeah.
like it's, you have to be careful because I empower everybody. And sometimes you go to educate them and they're like, well, that's actually not what it is. And you're
Sure.
like, oh, okay.
But that's the
I
best.
forgot you know what you're doing. Yeah. So
That you can learn from everybody.
And you put faith in all of them, I try my best to educate all the bartenders on all the tequilas that we have. And some of these guys that came in, like Frank, one of our bartenders, just came back from San Diego, and he was managing a tequila bar in San Diego. So his agave knowledge is really, really good. Megan, who's been here forever, Megan's been here from the beginning. She was the manager when I first started, and she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to agave. So having people like that around me, and it's incredible, and really like the knowledge that everybody now has because of that, and when it comes to agave is incredible.
Sure.
And I think you want to surround yourself with people that you like, one, enjoy, and two, trust. And then like the cohesiveness just follows after that.
Yeah.
You're so much less stressed when you can delegate with confidence.
Definitely.
So as it comes to cocktails, because every time that you go to a Mexican restaurant, it's always margarita. But what's another cocktail that's like endorsed by you guys that isn't a margarita, that involves tequila?
Paloma is besides the margarita, Paloma is our top selling cocktail.
What is it?
What's that?
It's
Paloma's
tequila,
actually-
lime juice, and grapefruit with soda.
And it's the most popular tequila drink in Mexico, not the margarita.
Really?
Yeah, margarita is just the most popular in America.
Where did margarita start in Mexico though? And they just came
They
in?
did,
Okay.
but it just like took off in America.
Because we're all bougie and we like the girly drinks.
I mean, they're delicious. Paloma's kind of a girly drink too,
Oh,
but
is it?
still
yeah,
delicious.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are super crushable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palomas. I love Palomas because like I love Squirt. It's like my favorite soda.
Sure.
So like grapefruit soda with tequila. Oh, sign me up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the clientele that comes in here?
Honestly, it's kind of all age.
It's a mix.
It really is.
We don't really have like I wouldn't say it's like an average age of anything. Like I would bring my mother here, and I would bring a date here.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's
Literally this Monday,
Mix of
I made the
everything.
comment like the average age on the patio is like 65. It was
That's sweet.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
the next day
it
it's
was awesome.
early 20s.
right.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
It is.
Because I'm sure everybody orders something different.
Right, and they change it up, and we're like new for a lot of people too. Young, old, it doesn't matter. You're probably trying something for the first time that you haven't had anywhere else. So it's nice to see like people's reaction and get feedback and see people excited about your food and like different people excited about the food.
Yeah.
And your hours are insane. Can you touch on those again?
So we're 4 to 11 on the weekdays and then 4 to 2 a.m. on the weekend. And right now we're doing Sunday brunch, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And our kitchen's open till 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
And you're only closed 1 day a week, which is
Wednesdays. Soon to be open on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
starting in like, I think we said 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
But we're probably going to stop brunch. So no more brunch.
Football season's coming.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
know what I'm
no,
saying?
that's true.
Josh Allentown, like you
Yeah.
said.
Oh yeah.
So the kitchen is
Bill City.
open until 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yes. Full menu.
How, why? Are you cooking everything?
I love to cook. We have an awesome staff right now. I'm blessed. Seriously. Shout out Casa Crew. So I don't have to be here every waking hour. But yeah, everyone who works here really enjoys it, thankfully. So yeah, it's the product doesn't suffer when I'm not here. It's been awesome.
You can't get like good food at midnight. Your options, no free shout-outs, or gyms right across the street. So I'm
Right.
sure that
Even
you
gyms
get.
closes at
They close at
midnight, I
12.
think.
Oh, do they really?
So that's why we decided to. When we first opened down here, I said we were either going to do lunch or late night. So we were trying late night out for the first year. It's been going really well. We haven't had any issues. It's honestly a lot of industry people coming in after their shifts and eating,
Sure.
which I love, like feeding the people who deserve like a really
Food.
good meal at
100%.
the end of their
Yeah.
shift kind of thing. That was a big thought.
Sort of like the joke that I make all the time. People come in from a different restaurant and it creates like really like regulars because they get out of work and they're like, all right, let's go to Casa and eat. Like, I love that I have a spot to go when I get out of work. I'm like, oh, it must be nice.
Yeah.
Right, still working.
Yeah, I get out at 3 and my options are limited. I'm a lot of frozen pizzas, you know.
Yeah. That's wild. That's such a good idea to be open. So, what is the reason for opening on Wednesdays? Is just because it's a day that's free now?
Yeah, and there's not a lot of restaurants open on Wednesdays. That's why we open on Monday too. Again, like more for the industry people to come in, like, oh, everything's closed. It's my day off. There's nowhere for me to go eat. So we're like, cool, it's open Mondays. Tuesdays have been a great day for us because Taco Tuesday is like a weird made up thing that people love. And then so we're like, yeah, let's just follow suit and keep it going.
That's really cool.
Your options too for food are pretty extensive. Like there's something here for everyone. When I was here, I got a chicken taco, obviously, but then I also got their Brussels sprout taco,
Brussels
which
sprout
was
taco is the best one on the
fantastic.
menu.
Can you talk about that? Because you wouldn't normally expect to get a Brussels sprout taco, but it was
Yeah.
so good.
So we want to be. It is really good.
Doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be that good. It's Brussels sprouts.
It's so good though.
Things I pushed off the plate and fed to the dog. She makes them taste like delicious. It's amazing. And it's vegan.
Yeah, it's vegan. So that's why we did it. We want to be like vegetarian and vegan friendly. And over COVID, I got asked to do a bunch of these vegan cooking demos, which I'm not a vegan. I don't know why I was asked, but I was like, yeah, like I will figure all this out. And I really, really enjoyed making delicious food that I usually would not make or consume. And then like the wheels just started turning and I got more into it. And now we have like 6 or 7 different vegetarian and vegan options. And they all slap. They're good.
That's sweet. That's really cool.
Good for you guys.
So where are your social media? Where can people follow you to kind of get a hold of you? Do you do any events here at all?
Yeah, we just did National Tequila Day. We had
Nice.
a DJ on the well, it was supposed to be on the patio, but then it said it was going to rain all day, and it didn't because Buffalo weather.
You're right.
You know. But yeah, we do different events and stuff like that. We are on Instagram and Facebook, Casa Azul Buffalo. Yeah, that's about it.
I love it. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you guys want to touch on?
I don't think so.
Just come on out.
Yeah, just
Where,
come
where
on
are we
out.
located? I mean, corner of Allen and Elmwood.
Yeah, we're on the corner
easiest
of
Tough to
Allen and
find.
Elmwood,
Yeah.
191. We have an awesome patio on the back. It's dog friendly, so feel free to bring the 4 furry friends or whatever, 4
Yes.
furry friends.
You guys got super lucky because when someone's like, I'm going to Allentown, you literally only envision this intersection.
Right.
So to be on that intersection, it just makes it so much easier.
No,
Yeah.
it's been awesome. It really has
Yeah.
been. It's been such a good move for us. Like the vibes have been amazing. Like I said, no problems. It's been great.
What's next? Just kind of keeping this place up? Or do you have anything else new to...
Yeah, well, we might be working on something else.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk
Tune
about
in.
it.
In the,
Yeah, tune in.
in the making.
What are they doing out here? They just redoing the street, putting a better sidewalk in or something?
Yeah, they're supposed to be widening the street, and then we're getting the raised parking situation.
Sort of like they have on the
On
east
the
side
other
of
side
Elmwood
of
past
Allen.
Delaware.
Yeah.
And then
Where you park on the
eventually,
sidewalk.
I think we're going to be allowed to put more tables out there.
Yeah.
Not that we need more space, but
Right.
it'll be fun. Then
Yeah.
you'll be able to sit on Allen and Elmwood.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
why not?
Yeah.
Cool.
Grab a drink out there, margarita,
Right.
Paloma,
Sure. Yeah. Tequila mule.
tequila mule.
Ooh, that's another good one.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool. All
We have a
right.
cocktail for everybody. We got
What-
everything. We have a
what
gin drink, a
is-
whiskey drink.
What is one thing that you need to have when you come here?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with this. I would either say the Caesar has become one of our like staple signature dishes, and the churros. People like go ape shit for the churros. It's kind of weird, but also that took me the longest amount of time to like nail down, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And then drink wise, try some mezcal. They do a great job of keeping an awesome back bar.
What's the difference between tequila and mezcal? Is that a loaded question?
Mezcal, tequila is mezcal.
Okay.
In the way that like bourbon is whiskey.
Yeah.
Mezcal is like the umbrella. And then tequila falls underneath that. And then you have like sotals and durangos and tobalas and all these other variations of mezcal.
Cool.
Yeah.
So much knowledge, dude.
Yeah.
And there's so
It's-
much to
it's
try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's being educated on it really helps with talking to customers. You
For
know
sure.
what I mean? It's the same thing I do, but I think a lot of us that work here do when somebody comes in and they ask, like, what should I get to eat? It's like, well, how hungry are you? What are you in the mood for? Do you eat this? Do you eat this? Do you have any allergies? And then we can really put you down the right path on what to get. Same thing with drinking. Like, well, what's your spirit? What do you normally drink? Okay, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. You can try this cocktail. And people don't generally like it. I mean, our margaritas, though, are, I'm
Best in the
tooting my
city.
own horn. They are really, really good.
Where do you get the inspiration from for them?
Whatever's in season.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, what are people looking for? Like palates change as things go, like I know you guys said you do a lot of beer stuff, right? In the wintertime, it's a lot of porters and stouts. In the summertime, it's wheat beers. And it's the same thing with anything else that we're doing here. I want like a lot of robust flavors in the wintertime, and then in the summertime, a lot of sweeter flavors and a lot of refreshing flavors and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
Cool. Anything else? We're all good. I appreciate your guys' time. This has been awesome. Everybody go check them out, Casa Azul Buffalo on Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yep.
And then you can see what they got coming up. And come check it out. You can get whatever you want. Get that Brussels sprout taco, I'm telling you right now. But try something else. Experiment. Have some fun. They put a lot of passion into this. So come on out and grab something good and grab some tequila or mezcal to go with it. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on. A lot of fun.
Shout out Casa Azul.